And so our community has to prepare itself for what is happening. The world we are living in is an illusion. And once we attach ourselves to the meaning of the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it helps you to break the illusion. It brings you back to reality as to what is actually happening. There are certain qualities our nation needs. All of us have seen the big revolutions in the Middle East, what they call the Arab Spring. It is an amazing thing. Those who have lived in Egypt, who have lived in Tunisia, who have lived in these countries, it's an amazing thing that these dictators were actually overthrown. We never thought we would see this in our life. But the question is, after the victory, then what happens? I can recall with you when the Russians were leaving Afghanistan. I gave the khutbah in Tariq Mosque on that Friday. It was a day of joy for Muslims throughout the world. The Russians were leaving. It was a great victory. And we celebrated this. But the question that was not being dealt with properly is, what happens after the victory? What happens after the victory? Unfortunately, the Mujahideen groups were not able to unite themselves. There was some sort of differences between them, and it caused the confusion, and now we see the state of Afghanistan up until today. So it's not just the victory. It's not just overthrowing the dictator. What do we institute when the dictator is gone? Do we become extreme in the other direction? Or can we be a balanced nation? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us in Surah Al-Baqarah verse 143, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ وَيَكُونَ الرَّسُولُ عَلَيْكُمْ شَهِيدًا. Allah Azza wa Jal has told us, and thus we have made you a middle balanced nation, that you would be witnesses on the people, and the prophet, the messenger, will be a witness on you. So we are ummatun wasata, a balanced nation. How can we develop this balance? I want to share with you a few points that I've been sharing with people throughout the world who are going through the same change. Number one, taqwa. It is the consciousness of Allah. We have to develop in the younger generation the ability to see, to feel the work of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to feel the Creator, the power of the Creator all around them. We have to have this consciousness of Allah in everything that we do, not just in the masjid, not just in special occasions, but in everything that we are doing. Number two, we need to develop a proper knowledge of Islam. It is no longer enough to take Islam from stories and from culture, because our culture is being destroyed, right? Globalization. But if we understand the root of Islam, then we can practice Islam in Canadian culture. We can practice Islam in Western culture. Because the East and the West for Allah is the same. Some people, they don't feel safe unless they smell certain smells or hear certain sounds, then they don't feel safe. Some people only want to pray inside of a masjid. But we have to realize, the Prophet ﷺ said, the whole earth has been made into a masjid. The whole earth. Anywhere a believer, if prayer reaches you, make your salat. You don't have to be inside of a masjid to make salat. So a proper knowledge of Islam will give us that universal, it's a universal understanding that the young people can practice Islam wherever they are. Number three, emphasize proper Islamic character. It is no longer enough to emphasize ibadat. Yes, we learn ibadah, we go to madrasa, and we learn how to pray, how to fast, the foundations of Islam, but now we have to learn, why do you pray? Why do you fast? What is the result of the fast? What is the result of the prayer? We got to take it to another stage now, because this needs to be implemented in the society that we are living in right here in Canada. Number 4, knowledge of society. Alhamdulillah, the young people are growing up here, but we need to have, and this is crucial in the Muslim world too, because we tended to be in the Muslim world, either a person who's in the madrasa, he buries himself in the Quran, but he knows nothing about the world. The other person knows the world, he's good in business, he's a good accountant or doctor, but he doesn't know the religion. The leadership of Islam will have to know both. They have to be grounded in Islamic foundations, but they have to understand the trends and the things that are happening in society, because this society is in rapid change. It's in a meltdown. So we have to know how to stop the meltdown within our own societies. Number 5, emphasis on healthy families. Healthy families. If we find young people who have stayed together for a period of time, we need to reward them. Some of our senior brothers and sisters, if they've been married for 40 years, 30 years, we need to have a special ceremony for them. And make the young people know that this is an achievement, that they've been able to stay that long. This society is in a meltdown. People get married. Most people, they don't even get married. They just shack up together, as they say, and live for a couple weeks, and then they leave, and they're not even Shia with muta, they don't even have sira. They just shack up and they leave. So it is crucial for us, healthy families. The Prophet ﷺ is talking about marriage based on mawadda wa rahmah, love and mercy. Okay? How does that love and mercy play out itself in our relationships, and to show respect for those who are able to stay together, to give the young people special lessons and advice how to defeat the shaitan. Shaitan is literally coming into our families. Even young people who were practicing Islam when I left and I came back, many of them are divorced. I'm talking about practicing Muslims. Okay, so somehow the pull of the society, the dunya, material things, something is pulling apart the marriages. And we need to help them through the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ to find practical ways to overcome this. Next, the concept of shura. Shura is mutual consultation. Mutual consultation that has to be cultured in our society. It starts with the family, husband and wife, parents and children, talk to each other. Learn how to share information. Take criticism from each other. Then it comes to communities. And this is something that we faced before. When I was in the Jami Mosque, some of you were with me in the Jami Mosque back in the 80s. We had Mayman community, Bengali community, we had Somali, Eritrean, Ethiopia, Palestinian, Egyptian, Punjabi, everything in one masjid. Now I come back and everybody has left the Jami Mosque, sometimes for good reasons because they live in Mississauga or Scarborough, but other times their little halaqah that they used to have in the Jami Mosque is now a masjid. So now this Afghani masjid, Guyanese masjid, Trinidad masjid, this, that, all of the little groups that should have been together are now entities amongst themselves. And we have to learn shura. That we spend time with our family, and this is good. But your greater family is the family of Islam. So that mutual consultation is a very important point. Number 7, a positive approach. Even though we see crises in the world, the Prophet ﷺ spoke about these crises. We know about this. Look what him and his companions had to face. If we look back at the stories of the Anbiya, the prophets, at the stories of the great ones in Islamic history, you will see the challenges they had to overcome. We can overcome these challenges. It is actually, a blessing sometimes when you're challenged. One of the great companions of the Prophet ﷺ, Ali ibn Abi Talib, radiallahu anhu, he said, one of the things that I love to do the most, because they ask people, what do you love to do the most? Somebody might say, well, I like eating chocolate. Or I like, swimming. You know what Ali said? He said, I like to fast on a hot day. You see his mentality? He said, I love fasting on a hot day. Because he knows by fasting on a hot day, he is getting more ajr, more reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We should keep that in mind this year when Ramadan comes in August. We all need to be Ali ibn Abi Talib right here, even in Canada itself. It's a positive approach. You see, positivity. The Prophet ﷺ used to say to his followers, Bashiru wa la tunaffiru, yassiru wa la tu'assiru. He said, give glad tidings, don't drive people away. Make it easy. Don't make the religion difficult. Make it easy. Taysir. That's a crucial concept for our community as we go in this. Number 8, strong participation of the youth. They have to be involved. And alhamdulillah, it was good we had young sisters here tonight. Leadership, in the leadership. Get their opinion of things. We're in a new generation. I tell my students of Al-Maghrib, we're studying history, and I tell them, I was born in BC. And they laugh. BC? Oh. No, I say, no, BC means before computers. Which is not a long time, by the way. Remember in the 90s, I was in the U of T, they're bringing these, computers in. We're getting away from typing and stuff. We're on computers. You can actually delete and erase something without whitening it out. Then I say, no, I'll change that. I was born BFB. I was born before Facebook. Because the Facebook generation now, this is a new world. And what they do on the Facebook and their whole world, if you want to know something about your brother and sister or son, or go on Facebook. You'll probably find more about them than you find at the dinner table. So a positive attitude. Yassiru wa la tu'assiru. Number 9, that we need to gear our education and our training towards strong leadership. That's male and female. Everything has to be geared toward leadership. We have to take a leadership role now in the world. And so that strong leadership means the ability to respond to crisis. It means to function with Islam outside the Muslim community. To be able to function when you have a lot and when you have a little. Right? To learn how to understand the Quran and the Sunnah, and to be able to use these things as a roadmap to take us through the darkness. And number 10, outreach. One of the important qualities, or the important amana, trust, which is on our back, is that we have to take this message to society. Even if it appears that society is against us, that's an illusion. Because Islam is not just learning to speak Arabic or to wear a kufi or a thobe. What Islam is submission to the Creator. We have solutions for the drug crisis, alcoholism, racism, homelessness, abuse. We have solutions to these things. And the society needs practical solutions to these issues because it's on a meltdown. And so, by doing this, we can fulfill this mission to get the message to people just by doing righteous things, bringing Islamic solutions to real problems in the world today.